Welcome to Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyeka and coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari urges candidates to accept election outcome, respect voters' choices. Presidential candidates sign peace pact ahead of Saturday polls. Plus, 6.8 magnitude quake hits eastern Tajikistan. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Thanks for joining us. First in our news this afternoon, an electoral report that President Muhammadu Buhari has called on candidates of political parties to accept the outcome of the 2023 general elections. The president asked the respective candidates to respect the choices of the electorate, reminding the political class and their supporters that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is the agency empowered by law to announce the results. Buhari also assured Nigerians that his administration will continue to do the utmost best to deliver a free and fair election. According to him, his administration has worked hard to ensure a legacy of free, fair, credible, safe and peaceful elections. Meanwhile, the presidential candidates of 18 political parties have signed a pact towards a peaceful election this Saturday. All the candidates converged on the International Conference Center, Abuja, for the landmark occasion. Among the presidential candidates present were Bola Tinubu of APC, Peter Obi of Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar of PDP, Rabiu Kwankwaso of NNPP, and Dan Wanyanwu of ZLP. Some of the Peace Committee members present included General Abdul Salami Abubakar, Bishop Matthew Kuka, and Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced the distribution of sensitive materials in states including Lagos, Benue, Ondo, Ekiti, Osun, and Akwa Ibom State. Also, as part of the preparations for the polls, President Muhammadu Buhari met with security chiefs at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, where he said INEC had no excuse not to conduct successful polls. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission stepped up preparations through the distribution of sensitive materials to local government areas in no fewer than 9 states.
This is one of the critical moments of INEC to collect these sensitive materials, ballot papers, result sheets from here from the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lagos office here, to move them to the 20 local government areas of the state. So that is the symbolic importance of what we are doing, because it shows it's more or less kick-starting the commencement of the electoral process of Saturday.
At which meeting Mr. President calls the national chairman of the INEC to brief the council relating to the preparations of INEC over the election. The National Security Council are happy with the preparations on the ground, and wholehearted arrangements are put in place in that direction. The resolution of the council is to the effect that the elections are holding and there is no going back about it.
The specific instruction is that we must ensure that Nigerians are allowed to come out and exercise their franchise or board the leaders of their choice. And for that, we must create conducive environment or atmosphere for Nigerians to exercise their right.
Still on electoral matters, the chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, has said that Commission state offices are already assessing the cash made available by the Central Bank of Nigeria for election purpose. Yakubu stated this during a meeting with leaders of foreign observation missions. The INEC chairman recalled that the commission had presented its cash requirement for prosecuting the forthcoming elections to the CBN as requested by the Apex Bank. He said despite the challenges bedeviling the country as it prepares for election, the commission had played its part in ensuring smooth election. Elsewhere, the Economic Community of West Africa Observer Mission to Nigeria has implored the federal government to be proactive in addressing the fuel and cash scarcity that citizens of the country are facing. ECOWAS further noted that the insecurity crisis in the country should be resolved before February 25th election. The mission, led by former President of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma, gave the admonition during his visit to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, in Abuja. Responding, Onyema disclosed that the scarcity of naira and fuel has been a huge challenge for the government. He said that the government is currently taking measures to suppress the burden on Nigerians. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Abdul Rashid Bawa, has raised the alarm over alleged plans by politicians to buy votes during the forthcoming election. And this has been raised to buy votes by notes in kind and cash ahead of the Saturday's general elections. In an interview, the EFCC chairman, who confirmed that all its officers had been deployed to monitor the polls across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, urged citizens to report vote buying, selling, and other evidence of financial malpractices. According to him, the agency is aware of the tactics used by vote buyers and officials are prepared to handle any situation that may arise.
My name is Abdul Rashid Bawa, the Executive Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. I want to use this medium to urge all Nigerians to eschew all manner of electoral fraud, either through vote buying, vote selling, or fraudulent manipulations of electoral processes. I am fully persuaded that we can run our electioneering processes devoid of any form of criminality. Let us all be committed to a free, fair, and credible dealings in the exercise of our democratic rights.
Away from that, the federal government has concluded plans to carry out aeromagnetic surveys in Ogun, Edo, Oyo, and parts of Kogi and Kwara states to improve the availability of geological information and data that would enhance the diversification of the economy through mineral sector development. In Edo State, areas where data will be captured include Fuga in the Esako West local government area, Esako Central, Esako East, Iwewen, Ikwoba, Oka, and Oredo local government areas. Meanwhile, to mitigate the impact of palpable fears and tension, the mineral sector support for economic diversification project MINDIVA has deployed a team to sensitize affected communities within the affected state. Speaking on the additional blocks of the geophysical mapping survey in Edo State, the Media and Communication Officer of the Mineral Sector Support for Economic Diversification Project, MIDIVA, Ishaku Gibo, said the team is in Edo State to renew sensitization after the initial one carried out prior to the commencement of the activity. In a separate development, the Ecological Project Office EPO, under the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, reiterated the federal government's drive towards protecting the environment with several eco-friendly projects across the country. The EPO Permanent Secretary Shehu Ibrahim stated this during an inspection of the dredging and channelization of the Jeswo Canal Railway Works at Sirilere in Lagos State. Shehu said the project was one of several others being carried out by the office as part of government's efforts towards ensuring a cleaner environment in the state. In Africa, authorities in Madagascar have announced that the passage of the powerful tropical cyclone Freddy resulted in 4 deaths. According to the country's National Risk Management Office, the storm affected 16,600 people. The powerful gust of wind reached around 130 kilometers per hour, contrary to last year's cyclone Basirai. According to UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, Freddy is the first cyclone and the second tropical weather system to hit Madagascar during the current season. Still in Africa, South Africa's government says it will take on nearly 2/3 of the struggling state power company's total debt of $23 billion. This comes as breakdowns at Eskom's power plants, which led to unprecedented power cuts that are damaging the country's economy. The government said that the National Treasury decision should free up money for spending on maintenance, transmission and distribution. Recall that President Cyril Ramaphosa had declared a state of disaster over the energy crisis earlier this month, a move which allows the government to take emergency measures to intervene. On our foreign scene, the U.S. Geological Survey (USGS) says a 6.8 magnitude earthquake has hit eastern Tajikistan. The quake struck around 5:37 a.m. local time today at a depth of about 20.5 kilometers and 12.7 miles. The USGS estimated that little or no population would be exposed to landslides from the quake. Meanwhile, Tajikistan, like most of Central Asia, is highly prone to natural disasters and has a long history of floods, earthquakes, landslides, avalanches and heavy snowfalls. Still on the foreign scene, Wagner chief says an ammunition shipment is on its way to his fighters in Ukraine after he reportedly accused Russia's defense establishment earlier this week of creating major problems with supplies for the mercenary group. In a message and voice note published on his Telegram channel, Prozin said the shipment began at 6 a.m. local time today. Meanwhile, the U.S. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby estimates that the Wagner Group has suffered more than 30,000 casualties, including 9,000 deaths in the battle for the city of Bakhmut. He said about half of the 9,000 were killed since mid-December, and 90% of those killed in December were recruited from Russian prisons. Still to come in the news. Man City draws RB Leipzig in Champions League first leg tie. Do stay with us.
The countdown is on as Nigeria decides who becomes its next president. The 2023 elections is upon us and the stage is set. At Spectrum TV, we have just one job: to keep you professionally and effectively informed round the clock as Nigeria decides. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio opens Friday, 24th February, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on the D-Day, Saturday, 25th February, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. as well as on Sunday, 26th February, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join the conversation on our phone lines on 0704 541 7707 090 222 31011 and 0813 775 8639, as well as on all our social media platforms. Spectrum TV Nigeria Decides Studio. As always, join the conversation and watch us broaden your horizon.
Thanks for staying tuned. To conclude the news this afternoon, the federal government has commenced the construction of a 2x30 per 40 megavolt amperes MVA 123 by 33 kilovolts kV electricity substation with 6 feeders in the country. They stated that the project would help grow the country's power transmission capacity to 25,000 megawatts. According to a statement issued by the Minister of State for Power, Godi Jedi Agba, in Abuja, the project will be completed in 18 months, starting from the date it was approved by President Muhammad Buhari. He said the Federal Ministry of Power had embarked on the construction of the transmission substation to strengthen the national grid, improve service delivery, and increase the capacity to supply power. Growth to 3.10% in 2022 from 3.40% in 2021. According to GDP results from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), reduced growth in the agriculture and industrial sector of the economy slowed GDP growth in 2022, despite the good performance of the service sector. The NBS said significantly hampered by severe incidences of flood experienced across the country. In health, a gender and development specialist, Jane Akaburi, has warned Osun residents against engaging in female genital mutilation, FGM. Speaking at a community dialogue to commemorate the International Day of Zero Tolerance on FGM in the state, Jane noted that there was an existing legislation that criminalizes it in the state, stressing that anyone caught engaged force others to perform FGM on their children, like grandparents, are also guilty of committing a crime undetected and shut down, adding that the medicalization of FGM was also illegal. Still in health, Professor Rotimi Olunsanya of the Department of Biochemistry, University of Ilorin, has cautioned Nigerians against the practice of the 128th inaugural lecture of the university, entitled Modulating the Mediators of Life Processes, the Strategic Place of Enzymes in Health and Wellness. He explained that antibiotics, medication, and alcohol could be a dangerous mix, which might increase the risk of unsafe side effects because of its potent blood sugar modulatory and immune boosting activities. The Dawn pointed out that Nigeria's common indigenous fresh according to him, studies have shown that there are good modulators of relevant enzymes with the potential to prevent and protect against diseases, where the junior pharaohs of Egypt have suffered a 1-0 loss to the Flying Eagles of Nigeria in their Group A encounter, victory in the first point of the championship over the host team in the second group match between the two winless sides. Agbalaka delivered. The young Pharaohs created numerous chances to go in front, but they lacked the cutting edge to convert the opportunities. The hosts were held to a goalless draw by Mozambique in the tournament opener and now sit in third place with a solitary point ahead of Saturday's must-win match against high-flying Senegal. In the meantime, Manchester City paid the price for failing to make the most of their first half dominance as they were held to a draw by RB in the first 45 minutes and got the breakthrough midway through the half when Ike Gundogan pounced on a mistake in her ambition and twice went close to equalizing early on through with Benjamin Henriques, who first headed just over before then sweeping wide with just Anderson to beat. The Manchester City goalkeeper was called upon when Josko Gvardiol headed in following a short corner. On our entertainment news, Nigerian superstar rapper Falz and multi-talented hitmaker Techno have teamed up for a new conscious record released to motivate Nazis issues currently plaguing the country, from fuel scarcity to no cash and alleged police brutality, amongst others. This is reportedly the second time Falz would be working with Techno, as they had previously worked on a song together while they were ambassadors for a telco brand. Still on entertainment, David the Rockstar's Archive. The collection includes more than 80,000 letters, lyrics, photos, stage designs, music awards, and costumes. It also features several instruments owned by the musician, including the stylophone in 2025 in a newly created East London venue. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Aneken. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.